What is up, guys? It is Mike D, Second Form Strength. I'm back with a video, and it has been a little while, and that's entirely my responsibility. To be honest, I have not been taking as much action as I should be, at least in the past, let's say the past 2 to 3 days. I definitely felt like, in terms of gym and everything like this, everything was on point. But there are some other things that have been slacking. And this leads me to what I want to talk about in this video today, which maybe there are some of you watching that are in similar positions to the one that I've been in for the past few days. Because usually, at least for the past 5 months, I've been good. I've been on point with what I'm doing, what I want to get done, and not letting other people's emotions or thoughts or whatever dictate how I move through life. And that's been pretty smooth sailing for the past, I'd say, probably 5 to 6 months. However, I've definitely noticed I'd say in the last week, but more specifically in the last 3 days, that it's been kind of a paralysis of analysis type situation. So maybe some of you are similar, right? And I'm imagining that if you're in a similar position or the same position, you probably have a mindset at the moment, wherever you're at, where you're thinking about all these different things you might want to do. For instance, you might be in your 9 to 5 at the moment, but you might be really out of shape. You might be fat. You might be looking at yourself in the mirror going, God, my money's good. Like, everything's sorted with that. I don't feel a lack of money. But when I look in the mirror, I really don't like who I see. Like, I see weakness. I see someone who is not capable. Someone that if one health event happened or one thing went wrong from their usual routine, they panic and they can't deal. They're not adaptable. Because really, being fit is also a sign that you're adaptable. Because in order to become fit or to get yourself in elite level shape, in a shape that, is better than, let's say, 95% of other dudes around you, you need to be adaptable. Because you are constantly adapting. At least when you want to get lower in weight, you have to adapt your calories, you have to adapt your training program, and your body's constantly adapting because you're progressively overloading. Ideally, you're progressively overloading every single session. So you're in a constant state of adaptation, literally. So you also want to be adaptable in your mindset. And a lot of the times, as dudes, if we're not in the shape we know we should be in, we kind of look at ourselves in the mirror and we go, we lie to ourselves. We say, I'm fine. But in reality, we're not. Because, you look and you see love handles. You look and you want to be able to see some muscle. You don't want to look and it's just like, I can't even really make a flat arm because I still have muscle. But you don't want there to be nothing, right? You want there to be some mass, some size. So these are all things that come with being adaptable. And really, adaptation is formed through action, because you have to take action, and this is really the crux of what I want to talk about in the video, is take action, right? Because we're talking about adaptation, we're talking about feeling like you're stuck. Like I said, maybe it's a weight thing. Maybe you're in a situation like me where your body's pretty good, but financially you're like, I need to do better, right? I need to acquire some funds, because as much as I do agree with people that say like money isn't everything and all that, I 100% agree with that. I really try not to put an emphasis on money. You do need it to survive in the world, and you also need it to achieve certain goals you may have. Now, you don't need a lot of it. I'm not saying you need a lot of it. I'm saying you need a certain amount. And it also depends on what you want. Like, you might need a lot of it if your goals are lofty or whatever. But regardless, money's important, right? You still need it to survive and to venture through life. So Yeah, maybe you're in a situation where money's good, your body's not, or your body's good, money's not, or maybe both of those things are good, but you're addicted to some type of drug that's really wreaking havoc on you mentally. Maybe you're in a relationship that you feel stuck in. Pretty much all of the problems that you could experience as a person on Earth, the first way you tackle anything like that, the first way you break yourself out of feeling trapped. And I mean, me making this video is a perfect example. I haven't made a video in a week. I've just told you guys that the last week's been a bit iffy, and especially the last 2 or 3 days, I haven't really been taking a lot of action. And action comes in the form of like videos like this. Like when I say I wasn't taking action, there were plenty of video ideas I had that I could have stopped during the last week and filmed, and I didn't. Plenty of real ideas I could have done instead of just sitting on my phone scrolling. I found myself in that trap this week of being on Instagram and fooling myself because I was like, well, everything I was looking at was educational about fitness and things. But realistically, it's just mental masturbation, guys. We all do it with anything. Like relationships, where we're stuck in a relationship we don't like. I've been there in the past before with my previous relationship. And realistically, about 1.5 years into that relationship, I knew it wasn't going to work out, but I fooled myself. I mentally masturbated myself into staying in it because I not only convinced myself with my own thought loop that it was fine, I also looked online for validation as to, and anything that went against what I was afraid to do was what I should have done, which is end the relationship. But anything that went against that made me feel comfort, I clung to, and I used that. I mentally masturbated myself into believing I should stay in that relationship. And we do the same thing with our bodies. We mentally masturbate and believing we're in good shape when really we know we're not. We do it with everything, right? Pick your poison. But my message I wanted to get through with this video is that I heard this quote where it was like, don't trust your memories to be, I'm probably butchering it, but it was like, your memories aren't an authentic narrator. Your memory is not an authentic narrator. Don't believe it, because your memory is influenced, it's biased by you and how you see the world and how you picture events. So a lot of times in memories, you're going to look at yourself less than, when in reality, it probably wasn't the case. So that also goes to show you that mentally is where we get stuck a lot of the times. In the physical plane is where you affect change, actually. Mentally, obviously, is very important. You need that to affect the physical. But without the physical, the mental doesn't matter. And vice versa, of course. But, I think a lot of the times, especially nowadays, because we're so phone-oriented, technological-oriented, all this kind of stuff, that we focus too much on the mental. And now we kind of shift away from what we need to do in the physical. So what I would say to you is, if you're feeling trapped mentally, like I said, in any of the situations, relationship, physical, financial, whatever it is, right? You need to just take action. And it doesn't need to be perfect action. This is the good news, because that's another form of mental masturbation, is this idea I need to get some water, but I don't have water, so I'll just keep it rolling. But it's this idea that you... I almost forgot what I was saying there. Was it talking about mental masturbation? Yeah. It's this idea that you can't... You feel that you lack the ability to affect stuff in the physical, right? So instead of actually trying and taking an imperfect leap and risking failure, because really, if we think something's not perfect, we think it's going to fail, essentially, which isn't true, by the way. But for some reason, we kind of have that in our minds where we're like, well, if it isn't perfect, then it might fail. It's like, no, but plenty of stuff doesn't fail that isn't perfect. Plenty of stuff that's bad doesn't fail too. So keep this in mind. Like, failure is a great thing, really. But anyway, like, going back to the main point, when you look at these actions that you're taking and you're saying, oh, well, I could fail doing it, So instead of taking the action, I'm just going to think about taking it. That's the worst thing you could possibly do, because you're keeping yourself trapped further in that bubble, further in your mental prison, let's say. So anytime, like let's say, obviously a good one to start with, because this is mainly fitness channel, even though I haven't really done many fitness videos yet, because I really enjoy talking about the mental aspects of stuff. But if we take, for example, physical, let's say you're feeling trapped in your body, you're feeling like you haven't been able to positively affect change in terms of getting rid of your fat. Let's say you've got, you're 15 kilos overweight. Let's even say 20 kilos overweight, right? And you've got love handles and they're kind of sagging over, and you got man boobs and they're sagging over. There's not much muscle definition. You look at yourself and you're like, man, I don't even feel masculine. I don't feel male. And first off, don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't have to feel male and it's some toxic thing. It's not at all. You can be a healthy male and still be in touch with your emotions and all this kind of stuff. Being healthy and masculine doesn't mean that you're not also in touch with your emotions, but you're in control of them is the point. Anyway, that's a different topic. But you want to be in control, right? You want to be centered. And if you want to start by changing your body, realistically, it's not enough to just think about all these diet plans, because you've seen them, you've gone on YouTube, if I ask you about diet plans and exercises to do and stuff, you probably know a bunch that you could get started on. The problem is you're looking at all these people with great bodies performing the exercises going, oh, it's great form, if I did that I'd probably pull my back out. Well, first off, if you're that worried, hiring a coach or something like that is a great option. You can hit me up on Instagram, Second Form Strength, if you're interested. Shameless plug, that's done. But realistically, you don't even need that, okay? I will tell you what you can start with. This is free advice, take it or leave it. But the first thing you should do is take the imperfect action of going for walks. Literally, this is the simplest thing, and it's the least thing, of all the things you're likely to fail and cause injury to yourself, like deadlifts, I wouldn't say start with all that kind of stuff, right? Walks are easy. Anybody can walk. Old 80-year-old people can walk. Fucking toddlers can walk. Most ages of people can walk, from bloody 3 or 4 to 90 or 100, right? So you can start by walking. And this is what I would do. I would literally not even change your diet. Don't worry about, just take an action, okay? An imperfect action. Because there are going to be, the imperfect aspect of this is you might do this and say, I'm going to walk every day for the next 3 months. And that's a great goal to have. And if you can stick to it, that's awesome. But do not beat yourself up if you miss a day or two, because more than likely you will. And this is why I don't believe you should even start by saying, I'm going to walk every day for 3 months. Just say to yourself, I'm going to walk every day. What I do is I have non-negotiables, and non-negotiables are the things that I do every day no matter what. And people get it misconstrued, I think, thinking that non-negotiable means that you must do them every day. Obviously, yes, the goal is to do them every day, but they feel like where they get it wrong, I think, is, oh, well, if I miss a day, then I might as well just make a new non-negotiable list because I can't obviously stick to it. It's no, missing a day or two doesn't mean you can't stick to it. It just means that you're getting used to this new routine, and there's going to be some friction, obviously. When you ride a bike at first, when you're learning to do new things, you're never 100% success rate. There's always some wiggle room there, right? So don't look at those failures as really failures. Just look at it as, okay, I missed 2 days, but I did 5 days. Awesome. Next week, I'll try to get 6. Okay, cool. Oh, wait, this week I got 5, but I got 6. Okay. The thing is, you never want to go backwards, and that's what I will say. So if you have a week where you say to yourself, I'm going to walk every day 10,000 steps, and for the first week, 6 out of the 7 days, you do 10,000 steps, right? But then the next week, 5 out of the 7 days, you do 10,000 steps. If you're going backwards, that's when you need to look at it and just pull yourself in. this is also the power of having non-negotiables is, if you feel like you're going backwards, one, you can change your list. Okay, you don't have to keep the same list. But what I would endeavor to you first to try is to simply look at it and say, okay, I'm going backwards, but I've got this list. What reason? Ask you, more than likely the reason that you're not sticking to it is because you haven't fully, there's not a concrete reason for you doing this outside of your own vanity or looks. So when you run into any friction with the small goal you've set for yourself of getting the steps in, I want you to simply just chill, all right? And say to yourself, what reason outside of myself am I doing this for? Maybe you have kids, maybe it's for your partner, maybe it's just simply for the fact that you want to be able to walk around shirtless, like around the beach, with confidence. All these kind of things. These are your powerful North Stars that you need to incorporate. And I would actually say to you, which I probably should have put this at the start, but hey, imperfect action, right? I would say to you that you should have a North Star, like something that's outside of yourself, that is your guiding, North Star, that you can look at when times are difficult, when you feel like it's hard to stay on track. Because if you have something that's outside of yourself, usually these are the powerful things that, or if you have a goal that's not simply looks related, it's function related. Because functions are what, like, looks are cool and obviously very important. I would say like quite important too. But those will generally take care of themselves if you're also following the main things that allow you to have function. Function is more important because it's what moves you through the world. It's what dictates how successful you are with what you already have. And what you already have is given to you by doing what you're doing, the functional aspect. So realistically, as long as you're doing things that are focused on the functional parts of your body, like moving your body better, more muscle to increase like stability around like bones and joints and things like this, it's going to make you look better too, because more muscle is going to result in a better frame. You know what I mean? So it all lends itself. But look, I've gone on a bit of a tangent, but hopefully you found some use in this. And I would say to you, if you're watching this video and like you haven't started a fitness journey, or you're very inconsistent, literally just get consistent with the basics first. Seriously, get consistent. Like, I would say to you, until you're at the point where for a month straight you've done 10,000 steps every day, I wouldn't start adding in like workouts and things like this. Seriously, you could do it after 2 weeks if you're really confident, but more than likely you'll do that and then you'll let the other shit slide. I would say to you, focus on walking and bodyweight exercises, because that's just going to get you in the functional idea of movement. And realistically, body weight is, at least to me, in my personal opinion, a way better indicator of functional, like an actual person's strength, than like just lifting a bunch of fucking weight over your head as a power lifter. That's still impressive, don't get me wrong, but I'm way more impressed by people that can do like muscle ups, or, you know, the handstand, what do they call them? I don't even know what they're really called. The handstand push-ups, like all that stuff. L-sitting pull-ups, L-sit pull-ups, all these kind of things are way more impressive to me. Look them up if you're not sure what those are. Definitely more advanced moves. If you're a beginner, don't start out there. I would literally say if you're a beginner, if you can't even do one push-up on your feet, start with your knees, do 10 of those, 10 knees, progress. But I'll make another video on like basic bodyweight stuff you can do as a beginner that you don't need a gym for. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know if you've watched this far. But yeah, honestly, if there's one thing that you get from the basic idea of this video, it's that when you're feeling trapped in anything, it's just about action. And through taking that action is where you learn. And if you're unsure of the best way to start taking action and you need some help, like I said, you can message me on YouTube. I think there's probably some way to do that, but realistically you're better off going on Instagram, Second Form Strength, and just DMing me, telling me you're from YouTube, whatever, and that you want some help, and then we can book a free call and go over things. And if I'm not going to charge you unless you're wanting someone to give you full accountability. If you're just wanting some tips, you can also just message me, and I'm more than happy to give you some tips. I'm even more than happy to give free custom meal plans too. So if you want something like that, message me on Instagram. Same as YouTube, Second Form Strength on Instagram. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out.